This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 9, verse 13. When I have bent Judah for me, filled the bow with Ephraim, and raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, and made thee as the sword of a mighty man. All right. First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachahak Double honors due to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, blessings, and safety to the Lord's elect. This is the brother Yeshaya, Parliament of Valor, South Carolina. And this lesson is going to be about the race wars that are coming. All right. Of course, things are getting hot over there in the East. Okay. Hot and heavy. Okay. Look, the trajectory is looks like it's gonna be up for a while. So we know that's coming, but before that happens, there will also be race wars. Okay. And the scriptures vividly detail these. All right, so let's start off with Zechariah 9 and 13. When I have bent Judah for me, filled the bow with Ephraim, and raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, and made thee as a sword of a mighty man. So Judah is my bow, and this is in the NLT. Judah is my bow, and Israel is my arrow. All right. So he's going to be using the northern and the southern kingdoms, as his weapons. All right. What did the scriptures also say? I have made thee a new and threshing instrument. All right. So that means that the Lord is going to give spiritual power to his men, you know. But just use that example. Judah is a bow and Israel is my arrow. Jerusalem is my sword. And like a warrior, I will brandish it against the Greeks. So you northern and southern kingdoms, hey, y'all are gonna have a hand in, seeing the demise of Esau, man. Okay. On a lower level, okay, the non-elect, okay, the Lord's gonna raise up a spirit in them to, you know, um, hate the enemy. Okay. Because right now this is the last chapter of the story, and the two antagonists or the two the protagonist and the antagonist. The protagonist being the Israelites, and the antagonist being Israel. Being Esau. Okay, they're about to bump heads. Okay, pretty soon in this third. Pretty soon, in these race wars, man. All right. So moving on, let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 9, and it reads. I'm gonna start at 8. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow before thee. Now, this is talking basically, when it comes to Judah being the head tribe and Yahweh Shai, all right, our King, Lord, and Savior coming through that line, as it is written, all right, prophecy. Okay. Verse 9. Judah is a lion's whelp from the prey. My son, thou art gone up. He stooped down, he couched as a lion and as an old lion. Who shall rouse him up? Okay, and that's basically a rhetorical question. All right, these these other nations are gonna rise him up. First and foremost, Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai is gonna rise up the spirit in Jake. Okay, to get back from all the pain and suffering and the heartache that we went through, you know, that for thousands of years, man. Okay, so yeah, man, and the Lord is cold, man. He's even given, you know, Jake that don't deserve it a little get back. All right, and you're gonna see these race wars, and of course, Yasharala's gonna win. I mean, it's not even gonna be, of course, you're gonna have some casualties, but hey, for the most part, the Israelites going to win because we are by far the strongest people. That's how Yahweh Bashem Yahushua set it up. Isaiah 19 and 17, and the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. Everyone that maketh mention thereof shall be afraid in himself because of the counsel of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua of hosts, which he have determined against it. There you go. Okay, Judah is gonna be a terror unto Egypt, and the modern day Egyptians are who? The Babylonians, the Americans, but speaking as a people, okay, the modern day Assyrians, modern day Egyptians, is Esau Edom. All right. But when it goes down, in that day shall five cities in the land of Egypt speak the language of Canaan, and swear to the Lord of hosts, one shall be called the city of destruction. And this is talking about us over here, getting our language back. Okay, in the land of Egypt, aka Babylon the Great, because Egypt is spiritually Sodom and Egypt. All right. And in that day there shall be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt, and a pillar at the border thereof to the Lord. So America is nothing but a big altar that Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is going to destroy. Okay, we can't wait. We cannot wait. Uh, the book of First Maccabees, chapter 5 and verse 3. Then Judas fought against the children of Slakia. Let's start at 1. First Maccabees 5 and 1. Now, when the nations round about heard that the altar was built and sanctuary renewed as before, it displeased them very much. Wherefore they thought to destroy the generation of Jacob that was among them. And thereupon they began to slay and destroy the people. Then Judas fought against the children of Esau, the Edomites, in Adumia, their home base, at Arabatan, because they besieged Gael. And he gave them a great overthrow and abated their courage and took their spoils. So there you go. Okay, Judas, we always had war with Amalek, always had war with Esau. Okay, generation of Jacob and Esau, it all goes back to that. Jacob and Esau, okay? And they're still mad about us, swiping their birthright from them. But to be honest, it was ours from the beginning. Okay, it was ours from the beginning. We just wasn't Israelites then. But the promise always was to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua's people, the sons of God, the sons of the power, which Yasharallah, he is a prince of the power. You know, so it was always written for us to get it. Um, Second Ezra 15. All right, Second Ezra 15 and verse 15, for the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Okay. So, people, hey, it's going to reach a boiling point, and people are going to, that inward hatred that naturally the nations have for each other, okay, including us. All right. Because we hate all the nations. All right. You know, we hate all the nations because they're supposed to be under our feet. All right. But right now they're over us. Okay. Which makes us even more angry. Right. But the Lord is going to, justify all that. Verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So it's going to be total anarchy on the streets of Babylon the Great. All right. And a lot of people are not ready for it, you know. Let's go back to the blue letter, Isaiah 19 and verse 1. That's the spirit. It was already on there. The burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be removed at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. They shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. So you're going to have Esau against Esau. You're going to have basically everybody against everybody. But at the end of the day, it's going to be the elect versus everyone else. And the elect are basically until, we get back into a corner, until the Lord lifts the standard, we're not really going to be doing much. Okay, we're just going to be, playing the corner, watching all this stuff happen, praying to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Whatever the spirit has us doing at that time, that's what we're going to be doing. So we're not even going to be in the fight. Okay, Lord, really, brothers going to be in the wilderness. It says we should be living as pilgrims in that day. So we're gonna be, wherever the Lord has us at, man. All right. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. So that's what they're doing, Stand with thine enchantments. Okay. If so, you will prevail. But we already know. All right. Uh, the book of Ezekiel 35. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. And say unto it, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, behold, O Mount Seir, okay, the chief place of Esau, which represents their nationality. All right. And it could also represent America, which is their stronghold. And I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. Okay. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their captivity, calamity in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sith thou hadst not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Okay, so there you go. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. So there you go. All right, the Lord is going to use, you know, the Israelites to, destroy Esau, Edom. But before, their spiritual power gets into, the play, it's going to be race wars, all right? Race wars, class wars, gender wars, every type of war you can imagine until that great and final war. All right, it's basically like a warm up, like prelim fights. It's like prelim fights. All right, we're gonna have a whole bunch of prelims before that the championship fight. All right, which is World War III. Genesis 3 and 15, and I will put in enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed, and it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. So that enmity, we're still playing that out. The enmity between Jacob and Esau, we're still playing it out to this day, and it's gonna reach a full head. Okay, with us being victorious, because it says what? It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. So it's gonna, we're gonna get the last say. All right, we're gonna. Basically when the analogy of when you're when you get a head injury, okay, it's very hard to get, bounce back from that. All right, concussion, all type of stuff. It's very hard to come back from a severe head injury. But, you get your heels bruised, uh what's it called? Plantar fasciitis, lashes, whatever that shit's called. All right, Achilles tear. You've seen basketball players and certain people bounce back from that. All right, so a severe head injury is more harder to come back from than a severe foot injury. Okay, so it's beautiful how the Lord put it. And this is the last one. All right, Exodus 17 and 16, and it reads, "For he said, because the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua have sworn that the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua will have war with Amalek from generation to generation." Okay, and it's gonna, culminate in the Third World War. But before that, like I said, these prelims, they're gonna be happening. Okay. So, Lord willing, that was edifying. Want to end it with that. Want to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahah, Kodash. Slaki. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone, and peace, blessings, and safety to the Lord's elect. Shalom.